Good evening. Parashat Emor, Perek Chav Gimel, the Torah speaks about the prohibition of eating Chadash. Chadash is wheat that was planted and harvested after the Pesach. The Torah says you are forbidden, if it's from the 5 grains, it's forbidden to consume this wheat. It's new, it's harvested and planted after the Pesach until the next Pesach, the 16th of Nisan, the second day of Pesach. On this 16th of Pesach, of Nisan, they will give the Omer offering, the Korban Omer, and this permits all of the new wheat for everyone to consume. And this is Asur from the Torah just as much as Chochke is Asur. Pig is Asur, this is also Asur. It's a negative transgression from the Torah. So therefore, the Gemara and Masechet Kiddushin, Lamed Vav Amud Bet 36b, brings a mahloket between the Tanna Kama and Rabbi Eliezer. If this applies only in Israel, or it applies even outside of Israel. The halacha, they bring the Mishnah, Stam Mishnah and Masechet Orla. The Mishnah, Masechet Orla, the 3rd chapter, the 9th Mishnah, says Chadash, it applies even Bezman Hazeh, B'chol Makom. It applies even today and in all places. We don't have the Korban Omer anymore, we don't have the temple anymore, but still the prohibition is still in effect, and just the day of the 16th of Nisan permits the new wheat. So therefore, the Rif, the Rambam, the Ritva, the Ravaya, the Mordechai, the Rosh, almost all the Rishonim bring this la'alacha, including Shulchan Aruch in Siman Resh Tzadik Gimal, that it is asur to eat the new wheat until the Pesach passes over it. It applies in Israel, it applies outside of Israel, it applies whether it's wheat owned by Jews, or applies whether it's wheat owned by Goyim, and therefore, of course, a person has to make sure now we're going to come to the holidays and the spring wheat is going to come into the market. In America, they harvest grain twice a year, in the winter and in the spring. In the spring, that means we just had Pesach pass, and then they planted after Pesach. And now they're going to harvest what they planted after Pesach. And it's going to be Chadash, it's going to be new wheat. It'll be asur to eat this. And when they put it on the market, they don't label it, they just put it. It's up to us to find out what it is. Therefore, a person who goes out to a restaurant to eat bread over there, he goes to buy lipyoshki for Shabbat, he goes to buy pasta, he goes to buy granola bars, he goes to buy his favorite cereal. All these situations, whenever there's flour involves the Isur of Torah of Chadash. Therefore, Rabotai, I am imploring you to make sure you take care of this and make sure you are on top of this. And there's many ways to be on top of this. The Chachamim give us, the beautiful sages of our times gave us a website to go and find out information. They even made an app, even with a barcode scanner, to go and to tell you, you can easily find out each product, if it's Hadash or if it's Yashan. It's all a matter of making that one small step, and therefore we're going to talk tomorrow why we're only hearing about this now, why do some people not know about it, why the Ashkenazim are not so meticulous about it. We're going to talk more at length, but I want to introduce you to this concept. It's going to become more prevalent as the days go closer and closer to the Hagim, so therefore I want to introduce you to this, and we should be familiar with this because of the Isur Torah Mamash. Now, I heard a beautiful mashal about the princess who was very, very pampered, and every gift someone would give her wouldn't mean anything special unless it really called her attention. You had to get her something very, very expensive, very, very unique to get her attention, and therefore it was very hard for any young man to woo her and to get her attention. However, there was one time where she was lost and she got separated from her group, and she had to live in a village for a couple months till they found her. And when she was in this village, she had nothing to her name. She was poor, she was alone, she had people taking care of her. And a poor young man came over to her and gave her a few simple gifts. Like a village man gifts, flowers. He gave her some nice homemade jewelry. He didn't give her anything special. But for her, it was like the whole world. Why? Because she didn't have anything. In that moment, she was poor, so it was very special to her. The mashal they say is, the nimshal, is that in the time when we had the Beit HaMikdash and when we had great tzaddikim in the world, to impress the Shekhinah, to impress the Chadash Baruch Hu, you had to make such a big mitzvah. You had to bring such an expensive, unique mitzvah to Hashem to get his attention. But today, the Shekhinah is in the Galut, and the Shekhinah is very poor, and there's not so many mitzvot in the world. So therefore it says the Arizal, even any small mitzvah you do today, it is equal to all the great mitzvot they did in the Tanaim and the Amoraim and the Gemara. So therefore, even do not be belittled. Any small mitzvah, you don't know in the eyes of Hashem, this is the worth the entire world. So therefore, we should zocheh to be able to lishmor la'asur l'kayim kol divrei Talmud Toratecha. Baruch na olam. Amen.